I actually haven't tested the code that's on the screen, but I believe it because if it weren't working, then the character that this belongs to wouldn't be working, although I haven't tested it yet. But if I were to remove this thingamajiggy from the screen and move on to the run, then yeah, what we're really going to be testing is something very specific. We are going to be using items from a character that I'm translating. Oh, my buddy! But as we get a Eldritch Parasite, we'll do our best. So, without further ado, let's get into the run. But to display with Nurse Miku, I will be talking about the code later because it is important to go over it if for no other reason than to remember how things are done. I forgot what I was on, actually, so I'm just going to say exquisite taste, and let's be on our merry little way. So, as we get into, that's not the right god, let's get into a Zal Exquisite Taste Nurse Miku. These are the two items. Again, these are more ingredients that belong to the Cooking Club member character, and I'm slowly getting through the translation. But the other thing to look at is basically how I'm translating the text, because in English, words and letters take a lot of space, as opposed to Japanese, Korean, Chinese, which, you know, you can fit more in a certain amount of space than you can English letters. So shrug, but just showing you the salt shaker item, because the other thing to note really quickly is that the name of the item does get cut off, but if you go into the item, you get to see the whole name. I think I'm still planning to shorten the name, if that makes any sense, but if I'm translating it wrong, then, well, hey. And then the actual salt shaker that's not wet is basically salt, which is another thing to note, because, I mean, if you're making similar items that can be equal to another item, then it makes sense that their effects would be the same, is what I'm trying to note for people who don't know. Second mystery, Takeshi-san, dexterity, light. Second encounter, charisma check, and my mouth hurts because, oh boy, diets. But as I get into this run, so we have Exquisite Taste once more, because I did that to myself, but I think we're gonna forgo Monument and go Illegal Den, just in case I don't get, well, actually I do have a weapon, so, whoops. Whoopsie doopsie. Made a mistake. Well, hey. Maybe you can still survive without the Monument. It's just nice to use the Monument because it is quite a bit of doom to save. But let's get into this run. I'll switch mysteries next episode, but as we get Household Hell, Ramen, Seashells, Ward, and Diary, that's... So I guess we're doing Seashells, Ward, and Diary for second and third. In some order, I don't know, but Ramen can be last, Household Hell can be fourth, and let's actually take Seashells first. I think there is a boss here, but I need to grab the thingamajiggy. So, we're gonna tree for funds, hope we don't get curses out of left field like Branded. But, shrug, we gotta deal with it. So, we do get to use the prize syringe, and a lot of it will be actually be giving me salt shakers, because that's what I decided to do. But, to go over the code at the very beginning of the run... Oh, hold on, let me focus. So let me just make sure that I'm doing this right. Oh, goodness. But as I do a quick check here, because I'm also looking at OBS really quickly, let us back out and then investigate, actually, police station first, and then I can actually concentrate a bit more. Hospital and school, we do have ward, so let's actually police station patrol the hospital. That's not the correct phrase to use. I'm going crazy with my mind, but... we'll also grab the hospital pass if possible. Kazumi does nothing for me, so hospital pass it is. And off we go. Have to check something really quick. Okay, just making sure. But yeah, the very beginning, the code that you saw beginning belonged to another ingredient. And the most important part, I think, is basically the top half. So if you go back to the beginning of this video and pause to look at the code, you can see that a bit of calculations are used. In fact, I do, there's a similar process that I think most people do. I do too in my own games, where you manipulate variables for a moment so you can set it up for a roll. By the way, I just realized we might actually still die in this encounter, but let's find out. Oh my goodness, not being able to prep attack hurts so much. Needed the actual, I needed the actual, the other dexterity increase that would have allowed me to prep attack, but we'll deal. This is not a ghost enemy, so we're just taking this all in the face. But, yeah, to go over it, basically a lot of variables are being manipulated. Mainly, you're looking at the threat level of a location, then you are using a character's luck, and then you are doing a roll based on a range of numbers, so basically introducing RNG and some kind of dice roll, if you want to use the metaphor, and then deciding whether or not something happens, whether it's a value of an item being changed, whether it is... something happening to an item in the case of maybe, you know, you're using an item or you're carrying around an item and something happens to it. that's essentially what's happening in the other thing, in the item. But I think in the item's case, I think it was a proc rate. I have to look at it again, but I'm just trying to actually survive this encounter. So, can I kick after this? I can. I think this is real. This should be 10 damage overall, and if it's not, I'm gonna be sad, or I missed a kick. But let me take a quick peek at the code. Yeah, so there is a chance for you to be able to get certain healing, but that's because the value of the item, let's just say, is a lot worse. Okay, I almost thought that I lost there for a second. But I might still be getting the effect wrong. But essentially, there's RNG being calculated, and it's a very smart way to handle calculations. Again, I don't think I've ever actually done that. I've done my own types of RNG calculations, obviously with the Valentine's Mystery, if you've ever seen that or played it. But aside from that, I was trying to actually look at the Misery Parasite. Experience. Okay, got the experience. Okay, that's... I was wondering why did I get 4, because it would be more if I had the inventory rule, and it would be still more if I had the funds rule. I was looking at my funds for a moment. What was the rule again? Misery Parasite, please. Injuries. Okay, injuries. But we have the hospital pass, so we're going to try to skip through. We do also have handcuffs, which is going to be interesting, but... just to really note here, the wet salt shaker with 1 use left is pretty much a dead item. I think you can still use it as an ingredient. Yeah, you can still use it as an ingredient, but because we're not playing with any of those events or anything that uses a replacement for salt, then yeah, it doesn't do anything in this run. But the other side of that is the actual salt shaker, and also the fact that there's 1 use. To note, there are 2 use versions of items that belong to the Cooking Club member character. We gotta run here, by the way. And yeah, that will help you if you need to use something more than once, and then you get. In the case of use items, I think it actually swaps the item for 1 use. So, for example, say this salt shaker had 2 uses. Nice encounter, by the way. Then when you use it in an event that uses it, it goes down to 1 use. So basically, a 2-use salt shaker item becomes a 1-use salt shaker item. But it provides the same effect, because there isn't currently a way to there might be a way, but the way it's handled with the character that the salt shaker belongs to, or other items of the like, it switches out items. So 80%. Thank you. We don't get to level up, unfortunately, unless we reach the end, but we do want to carry this bottle of sludge, because we will be able to toss it at the boss, and possibly get out in 1. So, trade-off reason. Do we get to level up beforehand? I'm going to be very sad if we don't get to. So, let's find out. I can also throw the Eldritch Fluid, by the way, I'm pretty sure. So, let's actually store this salt shaker for a moment. Let's bottle sludge and move on. Oh, and then I probably mentioned this. Oh, yeah. I probably mentioned this before, but I forgot what I was going to say because I was focusing. Okay, we might just be able to one-shot this. Do I care? 65%. We do have an option select, so yeah. Okay, good. If I didn't hit that, I would have used the handcuffs. I also have 10 Doom because I was supposed to level up. So, Adrenaline it is. And then we have the injury rule. This isn't actually as much Doom as you'd think. It still is a bit much, but this is still certainly survivable. Yeah, that's all I have to say at the moment. I did forget to level up, by the way. Diary it is. We do have a bottle of sludge, but hey. And the diary, I think this is a human enemy at the end of this mystery as well. So yeah. Oh yeah, so what I was going to say is that you'll notice that the Salt Shaker had a placeholder image. I think I talked about this before, but I would recommend it to anyone making any custom content, even if you've already completed like 80% of the art, whether it's item art, curse artwork, if you're making an old god for PERM, if you're making the character most specifically, like, and the only thing you haven't done is the chibi, then I would still say use template placeholders. You can literally put in like the green screen and then put in a I need a rest, by the way. You can put in a black dot somewhere on the item, but hey, yeah, I really regret not bringing the monument, or using the monument. Would that have been enough? I think it's nearly the same. And the only reason nice strength roll, by the way. The only reason I say that is because the monument, 2 uses of the monument would be about 5 HP to decrease Doom by 6, but if we go through ward like we did without the hospital pass, we would be taking about 4 doom and whatever the game throws at us, which could be just, you know, double nurses, run away for 5 doom. Basically, do the calculation on your own head, and yeah, I think it's pretty much near the same. By the way, we got some stuff. So store that. Throw more corpse. Throw more thingamajiggies. I might hold. Actually, no. We stored the hospital pass. I am autopiloting quite a lot, so there's a good chance Azal just slaps us with experience doom. So, shrug. Yeah, this is gonna be weird. I hope Daisuke gives us at least, assuming we survive, gives us at least 20 experience, because if he doesn't, it's not like I'll have choice words, because it really would be my fault at this point. So, do we even survive this? We can throw the Eldritch Fluid. I'm pretty sure this does, yeah, 7 damage. I say it on the item thing. Bottle of sludge, and we could brace here. Do I care to do that? 35 power, and I need to hit 3 of these. Let's go for it. You know what? Gamble. Okay, well, we didn't hit 3 of those, but we can do this, and let's find out. Haspin! I'm not gonna take extra experience damage, so you know what? I probably should've... is it worth it? Well, let's just take the 7 doom in the face. We get to level up afterwards. Again, that's a little small nuance to playing with Azal experience rule, is that you'll get extra experience at the end, but only after you've been penalized by the Azal rule for experience. So, shrug. Each item in inventory, which means we can't carry items anymore. We get a lot of reason healing because we're Nurse Miku. This is primarily PERM. Did I ever release Nurse Miku? I thought I did. Well, anywho, let's just throw out attacks and hope something sticks at this point. I was going to throw the Eldritch Fluid if we were doing moderately well. We were not. So, I think this is guaranteed though. Yeah, it should be. In fact, it's very guaranteed. So, as we do 15 damage, we get a bottle of sludge. Let's find out what happens to us, because I'm just going to walk forward and hope for the best. But, otherwise, yeah, just going to be I'm just going to continue translating. I think I'm like 25% through the PERM version of events, and 75% through the items, if the Salt Shaker wasn't already an indicator. I should actually just try and... Well, do I care? I do. So we're going to autopilot here for a moment. Again, let me know as we just sit here for a moment. Let me know if there's anything you want me to go over specifically. I always extend this, but I can't guarantee that I will go over something because sometimes I just forget if nothing else just gets in the way in real life. So, as we sit here and toss broken bottles, branches, iron pipes, and I think there's one other item. Maybe the iron pipe is all that there is for PERM. If you didn't know, just really quickly, the iron pipe is an item that gets added to the improvised pool when you pick up items. So if you're like, Jordan, how are you picking up this item called an iron pipe? I've never seen it. It's because it's PERM specific. So, and to even take a further step back from the forest, if you don't know what I mean by PERM, then PERM is something that you can use with World of Horror, specifically for World of Horror. So yeah, and it's available on Nexus Mods. And if it's not, well, I'm late with my information, or you're watching this far in the future where something may have gone wrong. So, shrug. But yeah, just going to be continuing to translate the Cooking Club member, which I've shown several episodes ago in this series, and if not, just look for the thumbnail. That's why I make the thumbnails the way I do, to try and basically clue you into what's happening. I do feel that's a very helpful thing to do, and if it's not, well, someone let me know. But let's sever our way out. I'm pretty sure I have enough experience, although I probably should have kept that extra corpse dust, because I maybe would have liked the extra experience in case Azal slaps me in the face here. But it's too late, so shrug. I'm pretty sure we lose, because yeah, we have another mystery after this, and Azal is going to grant us at least like 4 doom, which does not lend itself well to a last mystery. This little calculation of mine comes from the fact that each mystery on average takes about 7 doom just at base. Nice miss, by the way. Well, okay, I guess I'll just call it there then. But yeah, 7 doom plus 4 is more doom than I have, so I guess I'll see you in the next video!